Hello and welcome to Wayne's World of Wrestling. I'm Wayne Gilmore and this episode is called Fuck You, Jim Cornette. I know it might sound a bit harsh, and it probably is, but he blocked me for Twitter, and it was just because I posted a video of him fighting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which sounds absurd, and it is, and it was in reference to him slagging AEW for comedy shit, which he calls it, on his podcasts, on YouTube and stuff, constantly calling it comedy shit. So I then seen his match with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It was either sometime in the 80s or the 90s. So I thought I'd post that on his Twitter. And also referenced his gimmick. It was him that made the gimmick up for a wrestling character, as a mummy who walked about kind of like a zombified mummy. And I said something like, so how can you take the piss out of AEW for being a comedy company when you're fighting, in this video you're fighting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and you've got a gimmick here as well for a mummy. You're pretty much like a hypocrite if you're doing this years before. And then I never even knew he had blocked me until he'd actually put a post on about people crying about Jerry Lawler, saying about the Japanese wrestler doing the ramen noodle moonsault a couple of weeks ago in Raw, and he says people crying about everything these days, which I think that is a lot of people moaning about stuff. I mean, I did actually put on Twitter the only person that the most people that were moaning about Jerry Lawler's comment about the moonsault were people that weren't Japanese. I think if anybody had a problem with the so-called racist remark, which I still think was just Jerry Lawler talking shite, just Jerry Lawler, just the way he is, for years and years he's been like that. If the Japanese wrestler in question was offended by it, then there should be something done about it. All these arseholes on social media sort of need to get a grip about it, and there's enough crap in the world to be offended about in your own lives, to instead they go to social media and moaning about somebody saying that, you know what I mean. But anyway, back to Jim Cornette. So after I seen that, I thought, wait a minute, it was my mate Jimmy Pugh from Manchester, who's a wrestling fan, and I camped with him at the Bloodstock Festival over the years. So it was him that WhatsApped me about it, and I was like, alright, Jim Cornette said that. I was like, I do agree with him. And then I was like, wait a minute, how come I hadn't seen this on Twitter? And then I went on to Jim Cornette's, I typed in Jim Cornette's name on Twitter, and it came up saying, you've been blocked, everything to do with Jim Cornette's Twitter handle and stuff. And I was like, that's weird. And then that's when I thought, wait a minute, is he blocked me all that time for about a month or so ago, since I put, or 2 months ago, whenever it was, since I put up the Teenage Mutant Turtle video. So that's probably when it's been. So that's why I've called it Fuck You Jim Cornette. But it's made a headline grabber to get people's attention. I know I'm not an attention seeker, but if it gets people attention to watch this, Jim Cornette, like most humans, like myself, we're all hypocrites in a sense. We'll say one thing and do another at certain periods of life. But he is a hypocrite when it comes to this. He's stuck in the 80s, most of the stuff he says. But I still respect the guy, still love the guy. What I love about him most is he still speaks his mind in this day and age that we live in. Modern society, too many pussies don't want to say what they want to say to people's faces. They'll claim they're going to back each other up, and then when it comes to it, they all just look down at the ground and don't say shit. So that's what I like about Jim Cornette. He says it how it is, and that's what I really respect and love about the guy. I am going to email the Jim Cornette drive-through. Whether my question goes through, I'm going to just ask, why is it Jim Cornette can say AEW's comedy shit when he can dress up, when he can fight up a wrestler dressed up as a turtle? See if it gets through, and I will probably put at the end of it, I've done this podcast. I'll just put it like an extra bit on the email to say I've actually made up a podcast on Wayne's World of Wrestling, and I've called it Fuck You Jim Cornette. Probably when I put that at the end of it, they'll probably know, want to entertain my question, but it's up to them what they want to do on his show. But I do respect the guy, and if they did actually watch this podcast, they would actually be like, oh, actually wait a minute, because Jim Cornette's done so much for wrestling, great promoter, great manager, brought up so many good wrestlers, and I know a lot of people out there don't like the guy for his outspoken opinions and views, but I still think he's great. I just think blocking somebody for having an opinion because I've called him a hypocrite, it's a bit sad, and I suppose I wouldn't want to see a video when we're fighting the turtle and bringing up the gimmick of the mummy, when I want to look serious and have all this serious talk about me being a serious promoter and blah blah blah, but history doesn't lie, and it is out there, and Jim Cornette can't hide it. And like I said, we're all hypocrites one way or another in our lives, and Jim Cornette isn't oblivious to this. He can't hide for it. So still stand by my words. He's a bit of an arsehole for blocking me, but I still respect the guy, and I still listen to his podcasts. I don't listen to the full podcast. Sometimes listen to the full podcasts, and then other bits I'll just see like the highlights of them. It's like 15-minute video here, 10-minute video there, and I actually listened to the one with WWE contracts, and I do agree with him about saying that it's been like that for years, saying that they need a union in there, because obviously what's happened to the 30 or so employees that talent referee Mike Chioda, who's been there since the late 80s. IRS, Kurt Angle, and a couple other producers, coaches backstage. They all get let go, so they obviously, their contracts pretty much just get ripped up. On your way. Now that I've looked into it more, obviously people say that business is business, like they've got so much money, outgoing money, blah blah blah, and then you see, like, you read that, like, their quarterly outtakings and intakings, like Vince McMahon, his bonus alone for just a quarter could have paid 5 months' wages for all of them combined. Like Vince McMahon, let's face it, he does need that bonus. That bonus just goes away into his already huge amalgamation of bank accounts that he's got. So he could have paid them for another 5 months easy until the lockdown blows over. But realistically, the way the scientists in the World Health Organization and the governments and the news outlet, the media outlets are saying, you would expect it to be over in 5 months, but again, who knows. But let's say the 5 months is done, he could have easily just said, you know what, my bonus will cover it, if he's a good guy. But we know that you're not a ruthless businessman, billionaire, all these years, and to be a nice guy. But he could have been a nice guy this time, and kept the guys on, the women on. But that's when I got to thinking, was it the perfect time to say, does Vince see WWE, there's too many people there, there's too many wrestlers, and it was time to downsize? Because a lot of the time you look at WWE and a lot of the guys that got, a lot of the people that got let go, what were they really doing? They weren't being utilised. Where were their stories? What character building were they doing? Gallows and Anderson, fair enough, they were there and thereabout, but they were really just, recently they were just AJ Styles kind of dogs. But NXT guys and women, I can't really comment on them because I don't watch it. But a lot of the other guys in the main rosters, they weren't being used much. So when house shows, a lot of them probably were on house shows. So when there's no fans to go to house shows, so they're not going to use them there. So I think downsizing WWE right now is probably good for WWE, and then they can build up the characters and the wrestlers that they've got left. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next, when the crowds come back, and what they do with the wrestlers that they've got left. I think I've seen Vince again moaning now about the ratings, and apparently he's blaming Brock Lesnar for not being champ. I think that's a complete slap in the face to the wrestlers that are still turning up while there's no crowds. And you have to argue the lowest ever ratings that they've ever had on Raw in history was the Go Home show before WrestleMania, and it was the last hour, the third hour, and the main segment was Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, who was champion at the time, and the viewers turned off, and he was champion at that time, so it negates what Vince McMahon's saying there. So again, it makes you look at what a lot of wrestling fans think. Vince McMahon really does not know the product anymore. The product that he's trying to shove down people's throats. Vince McMahon, love the guy, respect the guy for what he's done for years, 30, 40 years easy at the helm, but nowadays he makes so many decisions that just really mystify you, and I just don't understand what he's saying about Brock Lesnar. Just because he's not champ, the ratings have went down because of that. The ratings were already slumping, and then obviously fans saying, a lot of fans are still saying it's because of the empty arenas as well, but the ratings have been terrible even before fans. Maybe no as bad, but they weren't much better either. I just think WWE in general, they don't build the characters. The matches are, you see the odd occasional match that's half decent, but there's no many classic matches. But Vince McMahon is so out of touch with the average wrestling fan, what they want to see, and what Vince McMahon is producing is night and day, and that's why I tune in to AEW every week. I mean, AEW don't have a crowd, and I'm happier watching that. They've still got a lot to sort out there as well, but in general their product is better, their matches are better. Production wise, they've still got a lot to sort out. But I think Vince needs to, call it a day, and move on. Is it time for Triple H to take the helm for the main roster? I don't know. It probably is Shane. I don't know, but Triple H shows it time and time again with the NXT product. Every time I watch an NXT pay-per-view, it's really good, and I keep meaning to start watching NXT week in, week out, but I've just still not get round to it. I just don't like the way Vince McMahon's saying Brock Lesnar is the reason the ratings went down, and it doesn't bode well for Drew McIntyre as champ. I feel like the Money in the Bank that's coming up could spell trouble for Drew. I don't think he'll lose the title there, but I can see Brock Lesnar winning it again, and he'll cash it in. I don't know when, but be soon, and then we'll hear the part-time 3 move. No talking. 5-minute match. Beast back on top again, and I know my mate Jim says he gets the ratings up and eyes on the product and stuff, but I don't see it. I just, like, when I see Brock Lesnar on the card, I just don't want to watch it. See people on Twitter even as well. You, like, when Lesnar's champion, people just moan, "Oh, well, Lesnar's the champ again." You get, like, out of 10 comments, you might get one 1 out of 10 that are actually positive about Lesnar being champion. People want to see the champion on TV. It's not hard to understand why. You want to see your champion in the ring. You want to see your champion build up the character. It's wrestling. You want to see a fighting champion. Well, that's what I want to see anyway. And that's like AEW's got the fighting champion, John Moxley, totally different character for Lesnar. On the mic, telling the people that it's not his title, it's their title. The title means something. It's like, I know that Drew McIntyre's the champion now, but in WWE, but how long is he going to be champion? Hopefully it will be. Vince McMahon will see the fact as he called him the chosen one all these years ago, and it'll work out, but who knows. But I don't know. But back to Jim Cornette. Like I said, podcast was about him blocking me, and I definitely have no problem with him. I just think, don't be a hypocrite, mate. Say what you keep speaking your mind. I love how much you speak your mind. Means so much in this day and age, and never change that. Just don't block people when they don't agree with you, because how many people does Jim Cornette not agree with? Which is good, because we've all got our own opinions. So if Jim Cornette can argue his point, why can't we then argue our own point? And I wasn't even really arguing a point. I was just stating a fact that he's saying AEW's comedy shit, and then I was saying, well, there's your comedy shit, mate, fighting a turtle. And then he blocked me. So that's the only thing that I'm saying fuck you, Jim Cornette, for. But everything else I respect him for. I mean, the podcast I watched him on, I listened to him on, he was talking about the contracts. He was against the way they done it. What's the point of having a contract if WWE can just take the contract away and say, see you later, mate, that's you done. They need a union, so as Vince can't just do what he wants. It's the wrestlers have not got a leg to stand on. And it was interesting what he was saying about that, but whether they ever get a union, I don't know. They might get one when Vince goes, but then Vince obviously sees that a union is a weakness, and that's why Vince is always going to have the power, and that's why he's been able to do what he's wanted to do all these years, and that's why he is, well, in essence, he made the character Mr. McMahon as well, and that wasn't just maybe, I know it was only a character, but how ruthless he can be, how much he screwed the Hitman, that wasn't obviously a story. But he's destroyed, obviously has destroyed, not destroyed, but because these wrestlers, like, they're on decent wages, so most of them, well, I'd hope quite a few of them had paid for their houses and stuff like that, and but I reckon I would hope to see some of them, a few of them, go to AEW. I'd like to see Rusev go to AEW. Carl Anderson looks like he'd put online that he was looking like he's gone back to New Japan, and Gallows would probably follow him. I'd like to see Kurt Angle going to AEW as a producer. Mike Chioda, I'd like to see him refereeing in AEW. Maria and Mike Kanellis I think they're going back to New Japan. And Zack Ryder might go to AEW, but I love AEW the way they're doing things, but I wouldn't like them to grab too many people from WWE. And obviously Tony Khan and the people involved backstage at AEW, they're no stupid, or I would hope they're not, and they would just take what they need and still bring in some indie guys. So hopefully we'll see some of the decent guys going to AEW, and New Japan getting who they want. And then there's also MLW, Impact could get a few people back, NWA, and then I think EC3 as well could be. He's been getting touted for a decent move, but I don't know much about him. But I have heard a couple of the people in the group chat that I talked to on Twitter, there's a few people in there that like him, so maybe I might check out a few of his matches to see what he's like. But like I said, I think it's a downsizing thing that Vince has done this for. I just can't see it. I just can't see it being about money. I mean, WWE made about $798 million last year, and paying the people off per month was something like $750,000 a month, I think it was, which I don't know. It's just I don't know. I think there's something. I think Vince wants to downsize, and I think he can see the benefits in it. But it's not the best time to do it with obviously with people having to be in the lockdown and whatever. But Vince is Vince, and he'll do what he wants. So maybe it should be called. I've kind of complained about Vince McMahon a bit more than Jim Cornette. Oops. Maybe it should be called fuck Jim Cornette and Vince McMahon. I will. Anyway, that's coming up just on the half an hour mark, so it's a bit slightly shorter than my usual podcasts, but I just wanted to talk a bit about there's a few things in there. So anyway, hopefully me and Jim will be back on Learning the Ropes with another pay-per-view edition. I think it'll be another ECW one, the start of the week, because we did enjoy doing that on Learning the Ropes. And I'm hoping to be on Wednesday with a guy I've only started talking to for the last couple of days, but I've seen him on Joey Janela's Instagram video feed, and a girl in the States called Bree on her video feed on Instagram as well, video chat. His name's Leroy. He goes with the name Nasty Leroy. He's an independent wrestler, and I'm looking forward to chatting to him about his career in his life. Hopefully that's going to happen on Wednesday night. He sounds like a really cool guy, and he's very interesting and charismatic on the video chat since I've seen him on there. So anyway, I'm going to go now, and thank you for listening. And hopefully my question will get through to Jim Cornette on his drive-through show, and I'll listen in for it in the next week or two. I'll email it pretty much as soon as I get off here. So again, whoever listened, thanks again. This will be available on YouTube. I might get it on, I might try and sort it out into audio, put it on Anchor and other podcast outlets. So thanks again for listening, appreciate your time. God bless you all, stay safe in this crazy time, and God bless you all. I think I just said that. Anyway, bye, thanks for listening. Cheers.